Hey everyone, it's Rihanna and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be doing a review on The Haunting of Hill House, which is a new Netflix original horror show that was created by Mike Flanagan, who is pretty big at the moment in the horror world. He directed films like Oculus and Hush and Gerald's Game, and it's based off a book by the same name written by Shirley Jackson in 1953. So The Haunting of Hill House centres around the Crane family, which consists of a mother, a father and 5 children. And when the 5 children are relatively still young, they move into this big mansion called Hill House. The parents move in to basically renovate it, decorate it and then sell it off and move on to the next house. And the children are convinced that this house is haunted. They see ghosts, they see things in the middle of the night, and this house has a very, very dark past. And the show is basically told between 2 timelines, one where the children are actually living in the house, and the other timeline is telling the story of the children now as adults and how the events in Hill House have shaped who they are as people. I know what you're probably thinking, Rihanna, you do not like horror. You're not a horror fan, and I know this, and I'm very surprised and happy to tell you that The Haunting on Hill House is obviously a horror show, but it's not just a horror show. It doesn't need horror to make you want to watch it. One of the things I think is really smart about this show is that it's not just a horror focused show. You've got horror, you've got thriller, and you have family drama. So there is so much going on that works so well together to make you keep wanting to watch the show. The Crane family consists of the mother, the father and their 5 children. We have Stephen, Shirley, Theo, Luke and Eleanor, or as they call her, Nell. And basically each one of their episodes centres around one of the children, how they lived in Hill House and how they are now as an adult. And we start off with Steve. Now Steve is the eldest of the children. He has basically made his fortune off writing a book about Hill House, and the family drama basically centres there. All the other siblings are not happy with how he portrayed the story, and I really like the aspect of family drama in the show just because it gives it a little bit something extra to make you connect with the characters and make it a little bit more realistic. It gives the story a little bit more edge, roundness and fullness. It's not just straight horror, jump scares everywhere. It actually has some substance because it makes you either like or dislike or root for these characters. I have to say my favourite character out of the show has to be Theo. I think she's such an interesting character as a child and as an adult. She's actually become a child psychologist since living in Hill House, and I don't want to spoil anything for you, but the way they connect her to Hill House and her mother is just really, really cool, and just Theo is such an interesting character, and the actress that plays her is phenomenal. I mean, all the actors here are crazy, crazy good. The woman that plays the mother is Carla Gugino. I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. She was fantastic. The actress who plays Nell was great, Shirley was great, but Theo especially, I just connected with her character so much, and the actress that plays her, as I said, was incredible. There was a scene in maybe the last 2 episodes that just brought me to tears. It was insanely, insanely good. Now I've talked about The Haunting of Hill House being a family drama, but it's very much a thriller and obviously a horror as well. It's a haunting. What else can you expect? There's ghosts, there's jump scares. It's expected in a horror show. But if you don't like jump scares, then maybe this isn't going to be for you. I don't mind them so much, but the jump scares in this TV show aren't where all the horror is. You could just be watching a random scene where the kids are like in the kitchen talking or whatever, and somehow you just see this figure in the back, and that'll do it. Just seeing that stupid figure in the back scares you to death. Honestly, I was reading an article about all the hidden ghosts throughout the show, and there are so many that you miss if you do not pay attention. That is another thing I love about The Haunting on Hill House, is that there is so much detail to the show. There are so many things you will miss if you do not pay attention to this show. It not only demands your attention because of the small little details you might miss, but also because the show is so goddamn cinematic. The costumes, the cinematography, the lighting, the colours. They use the colours to create the horror. It's insanely genius. Episode 6 in particular has a lot of long takes, and I don't know how they did it, but I didn't blink during them. I literally could not stop watching. One of the long shots, I think, was them talking and having a conversation as adults, and then there was a 360 long shot, and they were suddenly transformed into the child versions of themselves, and my mind exploded. You can expect a film director to make a TV show cinematic, but not this goddamn cinematic. Like, oh my goodness. The long takes was so damn impressive. Having the two timelines and focusing on a different child each episode sounds quite complicated, but in the long run, the way you are watching the timelines is very, very clever. It's like you're seeing it from the perspective of the character that the episode is focusing on. So we will see the same story go, but from different angles. And a lot of the time we'll see the story from one angle from one of the characters, and then we'll see it from another angle from another of the characters, and that angle will continue on the story. It makes it a lot more interesting to watch, if I'm honest, rather than just having one straight timeline, rather than them just focus on the story as children. The story of them as adults is insanely interesting, just because you never see in horror these days how the children are affected in later life by hauntings as children. I do have to say though, the scenes where they are children are probably my favourite, just because they're the scariest, they're the most in detail, they will make you jump the most, and the child actors were just fantastic. I think that storyline was definitely the most interesting. I didn't mind the storyline as adults. They do a really great job of keeping you watching there, and obviously the adult actors are amazing. I just think the haunting in particular, the history of the house, was far more interesting to me than the adult story. It might also be because the children's story was leading up to something where I really wanted to know what happens in the end, if you know what I mean. No spoilers here, but that might have helped a lot. So it may seem that I have been converted, a non-horror fan who very much enjoyed a horror show. I definitely want to rewatch this one because I feel like there are so many details I've missed, but I just can't believe that I enjoyed a horror show, and it's probably one of my favourite TV shows of 2018. So if you're a horror fan, I definitely recommend this. If you're not a horror fan, I definitely recommend this as well. I feel like everyone can watch it. If you don't like jump scares, maybe not, but I definitely recommend you watch The Haunting on Hill House. It is not just a horror show, it's a horror show with substance. Family drama, ghosts that will scare the shit out of you, multiple things. So those are my thoughts on The Haunting of Hill House. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of the show, and if there are any other horror shows that you think I would enjoy, definitely recommend them to me because I definitely do not watch enough. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing lots more videos very, very soon. As usual, all my social media links are down below in the description if you want to come and follow me. There is my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And as usual, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye!